Well, hi everyone. My name's Ido Leffler. I'm the co-founder and chief carrot lover at Yes2. Who here in the room has heard of Yes to Carrots or any of the Yes2 lines? Wow, that's awesome. Who knows that the brand's only barely 5 years old? Okay, great, even better. So I'll start off by saying I'm Ido Leffler. I'm originally from Israel. I grew up in Australia. I spent some time in Indonesia, India, went back to Israel where we set up this young little company. I'm also father of Zoe, husband of Ronette, and that's probably the most important part of my life. Yes2 is a very close second. And what I want to kind of find out as we go through this presentation, we have this chat, or before I even start this chat, is where is everybody in this room? Who here is a brand owner or wants to start a brand? Put up your hand nice and high. Okay, great. Who here has a really established brand that's been around for more than 5 years? And who's just starting? Who's like really starting? Okay, so I'm going to try to address everybody, whether you're a brand owner or press or a manufacturer, whatever it is, and start off by saying that you're going to. This is a private, closed setting, right? You're going to fuck up a lot. And so what I'm going to do? Am I going to drive? I can drive it. Yeah, I'll drive it. So I'm Australian, which means I'm allowed to swear. It's written in our constitution. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about our story. Hi, we're Yes2. We launched in Israel with 6 products in 16 stores nearly 5 years ago. In 2006, we went global, and now we're in we just crossed 30,000 stores. But that doesn't mean much. What we did, though, was start a company that we wanted to make a difference. Our number one priority was doing this, causing a positive disruption. So we wanted to take an industry, which was in our case, the natural beauty world. And my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, we were looking for products for us. And none of the products that we saw on the market attracted us. We were Mini driving, Virgin flying, iPhone using people. And all of the products in the natural space at the time weren't bad. They were good. But they were more like a Dell or an IBM. Now, nobody is going to call. Who's ever bought a Dell computer and picked up the phone and called their friend and told them that they bought a Dell? No one. But if you buy an iPad, everybody wants to see your iPad. And you're calling people, you're showing people. As a matter of fact, on the bottom of the messages that you send from your iPad, it says, sent from my iPad. So we wanted to create the Apple of the natural beauty world. We developed it based on a very simple premise. We wanted to create a positive brand. All the other brands in our industry, were talking about the others are bad. Don't do this, don't do that. Now, we all know that parabens are not good for us, and we all know that certain ingredients are not good for us. But I can tell you now that not all of us are perfect. And if I go to any natural founders even's closet, or bathroom cabinet, not every single product in their bathroom is going to be natural. And we didn't want to stand up on a preacher's pulpit and literally tell you that all the other products that you're using, you're a terrible person for using them. As a matter of fact, I'm a founder of a natural beauty brand, and the antiperspirant that I'm wearing right now is clinically proven to be killing me as I'm talking to you. But I really would like to sit next to Deb, and I would rather her stay there than run away. And that's sort of my shtick, that I want everybody to be happy. And in the end of the day, that's what we created. We wanted to create the Apple of the natural beauty world. So we made awesome skin, hair, and body products that we're really proud of. We use high-quality ingredients, organic fruits and vegetables, and a mineral elixir, both from the Dead Sea and now other sources as well. We don't test on animals. As a matter of fact, 2 times in the past 3 years, Peter has named us the most socially conscious beauty brand in the world, which we're very, very proud of. Our products are paraben-free, but paraben-free is a title that consumers understand. Our products now meet MPA standards and Whole Foods standards as well. Our packaging is recyclable. and we give back through the seed fund, which I'll talk about in a minute. Our consumer, light green, we call her. She's the, she's happy. She's the person who wants to go to yoga, doesn't go all the time. But she wears a really cool Lululemon outfit when she goes shopping at Whole Foods. She's urban chic, she's positive, she's creative, she's savvy, and, more often than not, she's sharing her products with her family. And which why we created products that were not tiny. They're big. Our shampoo, I was once on a TV program in France, and it was really weird because it was like the Today Show of Paris, and they were translating in English in my ear because I don't speak French, but I did understand when she called our shampoo the Eiffel Tower of shampoo. It's huge, it's big. So meet our family. It all started with Yester carrots. We now have Yester cucumbers. So Yester carrots is nourishing. Cucumbers, soothing. Tomatoes, clear skin. Blueberries, age refresh. Baby carrots, you can guess what that one's for. And it's amazing. Who here has kids? I guarantee you every single person in this room that has kids, when they had kids, they thought that there was definitely a product that was missing in the market that they could create. And I was lucky enough to think that my baby carrots was that product. So I created that for my little daughter, Zoe. And what we've done, though, with all these brands, it's been amazing. But one of the biggest mistakes we did, and we've fixed that mistake, especially over the past 2 years, is that we made sure that each of our lines were very clearly distinguishable for their benefits. What we originally did is we launched Yester carrots, which was for dry skin, cucumbers, which nobody really knew why, and tomatoes, maybe because people had oily skin. And we thought people would get it. Now, our sales were okay, but since we've changed that to increase the benefits, our sales are triple digits higher on each of those lines. Don't they look good? These are my babies. One thing I realized about having babies, though, is that not all your babies are going to work. And they're not real babies, which means if you have to discontinue a product, you might cry, but you don't have to cry forever. We have our seed fund. We've been very lucky. We have a young Hollywood board. We work with great people, whether it's Amy Smart, Nicole Richie, Rosario Dawson, Emmanuel Shrieky, Jake Gyllenhaal, etc., who have been phenomenal with us, coming around the country with me, planting schools in planting organic fruits and vegetable gardens in public schools throughout the country. We teamed up with Whole Foods this year. It was phenomenal. And we're about to announce the biggest partnership in the company's history over the next few months, which is going to rock the world of public schools and gardens, which we're very excited about. So our distribution. I'm going to show you this slide, but I want you to promise me that you don't think that you need to be in every one of these retailers, because you don't. So here we go. So we're everywhere. We're in 25,000+ doors here in the US. If you're a new brand, you don't have to be in 4 years in 25,000 stores. I'm not going to complain. We're doing okay. But it took a lot of stress and a lot of money to get to that point. And I think that, and for those of you in this room that know us, a lot of stress. I had hair when I started this company. No. But what is true, though, is that as a small company, what I would recommend, if you're a new brand, test it in one of these retailers or one of the spas or one of the professional groups first. Get it right. Then you can go everywhere else. Because once you go, our first retailer in the world, outside of our 16 stores, was a small retailer, you may have heard of it, called Walgreens. 5,800 stores. Talk about a risk. Because if they didn't sell those products, 5,800 stores worth of products was coming back to my house. What Walgreens didn't know is that if that product came back, that house would belong to the bank. So they wouldn't have anywhere to send that product. So I really recommend for new brands, test it out, get it right, then go global. And you'll find, it's amazing, retailers like Walgreens, Target, Walmart, if you get it right, they'll support you every step of the way. And we've been very fortunate with that. Internationally, Sephora is our European global partner. We're exclusive with Sephora in 15 out of 18 countries that we deal with them. We're about to announce a huge thing with Sephora as well over the next few months. And globally, we're pretty much everywhere else we want to be, outside of South America, which is next. Now, do you want to know how we did it? Can I share some secrets? Yes? No? First thing we did is we created a yes to lifestyle and culture. What I mean by that, I wear orange every single day of the work week. You know, people have various religions. They wear a yarmulke, or they wear a turban, or whatever it is they wear. Now, yes to is not a religion by any sense. My wife originally thought that I'd started a cult, though. But I wore it so it reminded me what we were about and what I was doing every day. That we just, you know, that this was something that was important for me when I got on the phone and I wasn't necessarily happy when I was talking to somebody, that I should look at my orange watch and it would remind me, hey, I've got to represent yes to. I might not be happy, but I've got to still represent the brand. These are my Dr. Seuss socks with the orange on them. But, you know, the only time I don't wear orange, though, is on the weekend. Today's an exception because I'm here. But my wife reminded me that when I'm home, I'm home. And it got a little bit scary when my wife started wearing yes to shirts to bed, and I'd wake up in the middle of the night and I'd have my logo facing me. So she no longer wears that. But on the weekends, you really want to chill out. I think you can only be rich in life and with your company if your people inside your company see how you work. Now, I went through a stage in the company where I was very, 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 very stressed, to the point where I would walk into the office like that. Not the usual Ido bubbly self and assume I skip through the office every day. And one of my staff wrote me a letter, handwritten. Dear Ido, I love you. I don't mean to be, you know, negative, but I joined this company because of your attitude and your way of life. And over the past month, you've been really miserable. This was about 3 years ago. We really need the old Ido back. And that made me change my entire life. Somebody who was in the finance department took time to write me a letter. And it made me decide. I'm at home every day for my bath time with my daughter. Weekends, my phone is off, or my emails are off. If you need me, call me. And I recommend that for everybody, because you've got to be able to live your brand. You've got to live, you know, your brand's got to work for you, and you've got to live for your brand. We created a social brand. You know, I think you did a great job there on going through how important social media is. But we have a voice. We answer people within 24 hours. We've got somebody on it all the time. We're very transparent. If somebody doesn't like what we've done, we'll reach out to them. And you've got to use it both for positive and negative. Don't ignore negativity. Address it. Talk about it. And as a result, we've treated our customers like they're part of the team. We have a group, actually, that we call them the VICs, the very important carrots. The first 30 VICs that join the company actually have my cell phone number. I don't recommend you do that, because they do call you. And now we have calls every 8 to 10 weeks, where this is really easy. I do a video call, and we get up to 1,000 people coming onto a call, listening to what we're coming out with. And we ask them for their feedback, what they're looking for. And now we launch product based on their feedback, which is pretty awesome. So consumer feedback is treated like gospel to make people happy. Now, unlike some of my competitors, I don't have $100 million to put towards an ad campaign. Maybe some of you do. Good luck. So we decided that the best way for us to work is PR, sample, repeat. And we hand out millions of samples now throughout the world every year. Sampling is cheap, gets people to try your products, get it out to anybody that will listen. I carry samples with me everywhere. Today on the flight over, I gave to the crew product as I was flying over. I always give product to the stewardesses, etc., because they love to talk, especially amongst themselves. And what I also do is I'm very much about PR. And if the press, if you've got something authentic and honest and is really, really good and that you really believe in, they'll love you. They'll absolutely love you. The only thing I recommend you don't do, can I borrow this for a second?
Sure.
Who here makes shampoo or lotion? Some form of a lotion. Whatever you do, never, Rule 101, Ido Leffler PR, Rule 101, write it down. Never ask one of the editors. Picture this, okay. Picture this, we're sitting down at a table, one-on-one interview, one of the top 5 or 6 beauty editors in this country, in New York, and I go, we've just come out with this really great new shampoo, you've got to smell this. And I put it up to her nose, and I wanted her to get a whiff, and I squeezed it a little bit, and this thing went shooting up her nose. And now, not only did she get the shock of her life, but if you've ever seen me really laugh, I cry. So here I am, she's in shock, I'm crying with laughter. My PR agent has wet herself. And we are just, nobody knows what to do. So there's assistants running, grabbing stuff, and I couldn't continue the interview, I was laughing so much, and we have to reschedule for the next day. So don't do that. Now lastly, I want to talk on this one is the 4 love points. This is the framework of everything we do as a company. Love point number 1, will she love how the product works versus our traditional peers? Will she love how the product looks? We wanted to create the iPhone of product. So my test of that is she willing to put it in her guest bathroom? Because you never put the crap stuff in your guest bathroom. Only the candles, and your bathroom looks like a mess. The guest bathroom's holy. Number 3, will she love the price? And we have at Yes2 what we call a guilt-free pricing model. If somebody's going to feel guilty using it, we won't launch it. And lastly, will she love to tell her friends about it? Because I went to marketing school, to business school. Rule number 1 you learn at business school, word of mouth. And there's no better way to secure that than making great product. Now, my advice, love your brand. Get to know your customer first. Your customer is not your best friend, your mother, your cousin, your sister. It's somebody that you don't know. One of the things we once did, there's a bar near our office called Tres Agaves. We went there during happy hour when people were a little bit tipsy, and we got them to try product. The most honest feedback we ever got, the cheapest. All we did was buy people shots of tequila. It's amazing. Find your brand's voice and language, and then share it with your team. You can't be, as the founder, the only person talking the language of the brand. Your whole team has to be. So we have company yoga, we do company events. Do you guys know that a soap brand called, eco brand called Method, a really brilliant brand, we're going to kick their ass in kickball on September 1st in San Francisco. If you're around, we need cheerleaders. If you're a great soccer player, I'm going to bring you on as an intern. So my head of marketing used to play professional women's soccer, so that's pretty exciting. Determine who is the brand guardian. This one I can't emphasize enough. There has to be one person in the company that when your marketing team or your designer goes, this is the greatest thing in the entire world, it's got this and it's got that and it's got that, there's got to be somebody that's going to say no. Or somebody says that's amazing. There's got to be one person that has that decision, because that's the brand guardian. And that, whether it's the founder or somebody within the company, determine who that is, give that person supreme authority, and knock them dead. And lastly, which was I mentioned before, encourage your organization to live the brand's lifestyle. But most importantly, you've got to make your customers, your staff, your suppliers, everybody happy. And the best way to do that is get them drunk. And you know, what I mean by that is business is not done through email. And we spoke about this just before. business is done through shaking somebody's hand, giving somebody a kiss, whatever it is. And I want to share with you one last story, which is a very simple story. And, you know, Melody, can I borrow you for a minute? So I am, everybody, this is Melody. So my first ever meeting at Walgreens, some of you know this, Alan, you know this woman very well. A woman by the name of Michelle at Walgreens. Now, I was given a half-an-hour meeting at Walgreens, my first time ever there in company headquarters. Let's pretend Melody's Michelle. And I went into that office. And I remember Walgreens, I was pretty intimidated. They made me wear a suit and a tie. I've never worn a tie since that meeting. And the company was in we had 6 products in 16 stores. Walgreens at the time had 5,800 stores, now 7,400. And I walked into that meeting for the first time. And I remember I walked into that room. Now, can you hold out your hand, Melody? And Michelle went to shake my hand. Now, I knew that I needed to make an impact. Otherwise, the meeting was going to be a half-an-hour meeting, and that was it. Because who was I? 6 products, 16 stores in Israel. That was it. And she ran out, put out her hand, and I went like that, and I gave her a hug. And I'm telling you now, and I gave her 2 kisses on the cheek. Thanks, Melody. And I'm telling you now that I just wanted to give Melody a hug. And I'm telling you now, I swear to you to this day, I still think that if I had not given Michelle that hug, and I had shook her hand, and our relationship hadn't started that way, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be in 25,000 stores in the US, 30,000 stores globally, and we wouldn't be the #2 natural beauty brand in the US today. That's the biggest lesson. This business is about people, it's about making people happy, and it's about, in the end of the day, making you, your customers, your people, and your relationships smile. Thank you very much.